All right, so now what if you're saying to yourself, well, hey, I want to see this thing translate. And we can do that very easily. So let's jump over to a side view. So it's basically look the exact same. Let's take this, what our last keyframe here, and we're going to translate this on X. Say just a random amount like that. Let's check our translation keys, and it's just a linear curve. So as this goes, it's just going to come to a complete stop. So what we want to do is we want this thing to ease out. So let's just, by default, we'll just give it a flat tangent, and we'll see what happens. Oh, it stops a little bit abruptly, I would say. Wouldn't you say? I would say. So maybe what we want to do is we want to have the ball stop, but we want it to continue to roll a little bit as it moves on. So let's take this, and we are going to add some in-betweens. Actually, we're just going to slide. So I'm basically holding the shift key, middle mouse, and we're going to have it slide or roll to a stop at, say, frame 47. Now let's see. That's not looking too bad. Okay. So I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to unlock it, and I want to pull it out just a tad. I just want it to really ease into that last pose, into the stop there. And that's feeling pretty good to me. All right, so I'm going to add a few more frames at the end. So when it stops, we can see it for a little bit. We're basically holding that last frame. Okay. So now, hey, why don't we add some rotation to this bad boy? I'm going to shrink that down so it's visible within my, and we are going to, it stops at 47. We're going to have this thing roll. Let's see, set it at frame X. That's positive X, so let's do 720, and let's just see how that boy is rolling. And let's zoom into that guy there. So as you can see, feels like it's sliding a little bit to me, especially right there. So let's go to rotate X. Oh, we're also going to want this to ease out too as it's rolling. It still feels like a little bit of a slide there, but let's just play this portion of it, shall we? I'm going to slide that there. I think it's actually not rolling nearly enough because it's totally sliding there. All right, so I'm going to crank that up a little bit. Okay, feeling a little better to me. And yeah, it feels a lot better. All right, now there's actual calculation. I think you can figure this out, what the rotation needs to be based on the distance traveled and the size of the ball. Um, you could do that if you were so inclined. I tend to animate more by feel um, than everything being mathematically exact. Um, personal preference, and as long as at the end of the day you're getting the shots done and people like it, then you're golden. So I actually wanted to even take that translation and I want to even have it ease out even more. So I'm going to increase the distance it rolls. I'm going to crank this up a little bit as well. Now, okay, so that's feeling a little bit better to me. And let's take that rotation and I'm going to free that. There we go. So now, let's go back. Get a look at this. Nope, I had the right key pressed. Nope. Reset my keyframe. There we go. So, a little bit, I can't really tell that's rotating. I got an idea. We'll go shading, wireframe on shaded. I don't think that was much of a help. Maybe I'll highlight it again. Makes it a little bit easier to see. All right, so then, okay, that's looking a little bit better. So now what I want to do, instead of it just kind of dying there at the end, I want to give it a little settle. So what I'll do is, come to the end here, I want the ball to roll a little bit this way more. I'm just basically I'm holding Alt key and left arrow and I'm nudging the ball. So I want to make it look like it's just rolling but not sliding. I think I went a little too far, so I'm just flipping using the period and comma keys to make it look like it's just rolling just a bit. And let's look at our rotation here up close. See, we're getting some funkiness, so we need to adjust this. This is where you can get into a bit of a snag. All right, so I only want to adjust this out tangent, so I'm going to break that. And we're going to flatten that. I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. See, now it's popping in the Z translation as well because it's doing the same thing. Break that. Zoom, bring this back. Flatten that guy out. All right, let's take a look now. Where does it come into frame? Right about 26-ish. All right, so I've got that happening, but I also think I want to add a few more in-betweens in there. And then I'm going to have it roll back. But I don't want to have it roll back to this key all the way because then it'll tend to make it look too computery. You never want to go back to the same place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to about frame 49, middle mouse click, go a few frames past, let's say to there, frame 56, hit S to save. I'm going to flatten that out. And I'm going to go back to the rotation as well. And I want to flatten that out. So now let's just See how that, I get some weird Y happening in here that we're going to have to, oh, there we go. So let's just pop that there. There's a little bit of settle. So actually, I think I wanted to go a little bit further than I had it. So I think what I'm going to do is actually go past where I started. Oops. I'm just doing some overshoot to clean up these curves a little bit. And we'll just do that. And I'm going to overshoot this a little bit. All right, now let's have a look. There we go. So it just adds a little settle at the end. Now, overall, I would say this looks like it's still, based on the speed of it, this needs to get modified. I think it's breaking a little too soon, slowing down. So let's take these last few frames. I'm going to constrain them by holding the shift key. All right, it might be a little too much. Let's come back a bit. That's feeling a little better. Maybe a little bit more. All right. Kind of once it hits about here. All right, let's bring it back. Let's extend this out a few more frames. That's feeling a little bit better. All right, so now let's take the rotation, and we're going to need to sync that up with this. So let's see what frame we're on here. Frame 7. Go back to the rot X, and we're going to slide that to match. Oh, it's feeling a little bit better to me. Rotation may need to be amped up as well because I feel it's sliding. Now we're going to take this and we're going to increase the rotation value a bit. Into right about here. That's feeling pretty good. We can continue to tweak this thing until the cows come home. All right, so let's open it up all the way here. I'm wondering if that thing could slow down a little bit sooner. Maybe from here. Let's add a keyframe. The Z translation here. And then we're going to take this, this guy, bring it back. And we are going to bring these values down a little bit more. All right, so now we have to adjust the rotation because now it's spinning. If you look here, see it's spinning. We need to compensate for that by bringing these values back down. And that's feeling, nope. Probably gonna have to do is add a keyframe here as well. See, that's feeling pretty good right there. Then it kind of speeds up right here. So let's go back to that translation. Oops, on the Z. Add that same keyframe. What was it at? Frame 36. Rod X. Key that. And then we're going to bring these guys down. Just a tad. Oops. See if that doesn't take care of that for us. All right, we're going to need to zoom that up a little bit. Ramp that up a little bit more. Getting there. That's feeling okay. A little bit of a slide right there. Should roll faster through here. Let's zoom into this area here. I think this might be where the problem is. Oh, sliding right. Here. Go back to that translation. Aha. Here we go. This is just overshooting. I think that's what's causing that spin. That just slight slide. That's feeling a little bit better. I actually want to add another, I think, keyframe in here. Slide that down one. Also on the rotation. Where was that? The last at 67. There we go. That must have keyed. I didn't want it to do. Alright, so let's nudge this up. And the Y's all freaked out now too. So we got to set that back to 0. There we go. That's just strange. Why is the rotation? Oh, that's why. Huh. Something funky happened here. And again. Alright, that's back to where it was. Now it's feeling a little bit better. I don't know what happened, but we still get some slide. Let's see. Go through this frame by frame. Now, if you hit Control, comma, and period, it'll step frame by advance one frame. But I think I have to set that up in my hotkeys. All right, let's go back to the rotation. Where are we here? In this area, I might just need to bring this down a little bit some more. Let's see how that's feeling. That's feeling a little bit more like it's connected to the ground. It's all about noodling with the animation. And really just kind of fine-tuning stuff till you get the feel that you want. All right. And let's take this bad boy up. See what we got. There we have it. Alrighty, let's move on.